You're watching Machindo's hometown station, HTV1.
Hello everybody, Brett Boyd from the Market House. Don't miss our new expanded summer hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And don't miss two fantastic deals on ground chuck at just $3.99 a pound or Dutch Farms butter at just $2.99. Just two great deals and two more reasons to come see us at the Market House. Open 8 to 8, 7 days a week. We'll see you there.
Tired of having everyone know you're coming before you arrive because of your exhaust? If so, then it's time to call the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. RS Custom Exhaust has all the tools and parts to make your vehicle quiet again. And for you sports car enthusiasts, if you're looking for the roar to be the king of the roads, RS Custom Exhaust can help you too. With free estimates and first-class service, RS Custom Exhaust has your vehicle covered. So stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
From Machindo's news leader, this is HTV1 News at noon.
Well, breaking news right off the top, the Lenawee County Health Department has issued a no contact order until further notice for the River Raisin. Now that's beginning at the South Branch near College Street in Adrian. Now and continuing downstream to the Eastern County line in Deerfield. The Adrian sewage treatment system discharged an undisclosed amount of sewage into the river. Now, this does not affect any public or private drinking water supplies. Those systems remain safe. The advisory will remain in effect until test results show that the water quality is not impacted. Well, turning now to the coronavirus pandemic, local statistics are now starting to show that the curve is flattening. A good sign that emergency restrictions and social distancing are indeed working. Well, as of yesterday afternoon, Branch County reports 96 cases and 2 deaths. Hillsdale County figures are a little confusing. The Tri-County Health Agency said both Monday and Tuesday that there were 166 cases and 24 deaths. However, the state count from yesterday says that there are now 165 cases, but they're also counting 2 cases removed from their previous figure, meaning that they had counted 167 cases on Monday. Now, it's unclear where the discrepancy is, but for the time being, the official local count for Hillsdale is 166 cases. Lenawee County reports 139 cases, 94 recovering, 3 deaths, 32 probable cases, 21 probable cases in recovery, and no deaths in that category. And Angola Mayor Richard Hickman said in a Facebook post late last night that he didn't receive any new information from the Steuben County Health Department, but he did note that the state of Indiana is reporting 2 new cases in the last 48 hours, bringing Steuben County's total up to 69 with 2 deaths. Now, Mayor Hickman says that he's unsure why the 2 counts seem to be different by 1 or 2 cases on a frequent basis. Williams County and Fulton County both held steady yesterday in the last 24 hours. Williams has 33 confirmed and 14 probable cases with 1 death, while Fulton County has 34 confirmed and 1 probable case with no deaths. Well, there is no shortage of event information to pass along today. We'll start with the 2020 Devil's Lake Festival of the Arts, which, as like most things, has been canceled. Organizers said on Facebook yesterday that they'll be reaching out to all artists and vendors with refund information early next month. They'll plan to bring the festival back in June of 2021. They also note that the Manitou Beach Historic Renovation Society plans to hold an art and crafters market later this summer, and the Festival of the Arts will be happy to advertise for the participants on their own social media pages. WTBB says that the Village of Quincy has canceled all of its events in June and July. Now that includes the Sounds of Summer concerts in the Quincy Park and the Rotary Club's 4th of July barbecue. Now officials hope to be able to organize some sort of event in the fall if there is no second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. Quincy has also reopened their waste transfer station, which will be available to the public on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Now, still no word yet on the Swanton's Firework Fest. The enterprise says that's a contract modification with American Fireworks. The village has until a week prior to the event to decide whether or not to hold it. But Fire Chief Tony Schaefer says the decision would actually have to be made 2 or 4 weeks sooner than that so that the fire department can plan things out and get the necessary permits. If the festival gets canceled, they'll have a festival in 2021 in order for the village to avoid a penalty fee. In Bryan, the Times says the Memorial Day ceremony at the cemetery has already been held in order to avoid large crowds. You'll be able to watch it at BMU TV on Memorial Day, as well as on YouTube and the utility's social media pages. There will be no Memorial Day parade through the city this year, and Mayor Carrie Shade says that the choice was made earlier on. Now, Montpelier will live stream their ceremony at 10:55 Monday morning, but the annual parade has been canceled as well. Edgerton has also canceled their parade, but a short ceremony will still take place at Maple Grove Cemetery at 10 a.m. Now, those in attendance will be asked to observe social distancing. Now, Eden has canceled their parade, but if they will also hold a brief ceremony at the ceremony starting at 11 a.m. Monday, residents may attend, but they're all asking to stay in their cars. In the Sherwood and Ney area, the annual parade and potluck have been canceled, but the VFW and American Legion will hold the series of ceremonies starting at Moats Cemetery at 9 a.m., St. Isidore Cemetery at 10, Ney Cemetery at 11, and Sherwood Cemetery at 12:15, with comments from Defiance County Commissioner and veteran Ryan Mack. Now, in Stryker, the American Legion will hold a short ceremony at the ceremony, but the only Legion members will be allowed to attend. Now, elsewhere in Williams County, Pioneer in Pulaski and West Unity haven't announced any plans for Memorial Day yet. The Herald Republican reports that Fremont has canceled their Memorial Day service this year. The Pleasant Lake Lions Club will hold its annual Memorial Day event in conjunction with the Angola American Legion Post 31. Now, that will take place at Pleasant Lake Elementary starting at 10 a.m. on Monday. Now, that follows the Angola ceremony and the public square, which starts at 9 a.m. However, looking ahead a few months, Pleasant Lake has canceled everything but the fireworks show for August's Pleasant Lake Days. Now, the news release from the organizers said that the 2-day festival would have put hundreds of people in close proximity to each other, risking viral spread. The Adrian Daily Telegram says both major political parties in Lenawee County have been forced to cancel fundraising dinners. For the Republicans, the Lincoln Day dinner had been scheduled for May 8th, but has been postponed with a possible rescheduling date in September. But that depends on the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the Democrats had planned on holding their John F. Kennedy dinner on May 16th, but now that has been postponed indefinitely. Both parties are now working to find ways of raising the money that those dinners normally bring in. And finally, the Steuben County 4-H Fair Board still has yet to decide on plans for this year's fair. They're considering two options: either have the fair in person with only 4-Hers and their immediate families attending, or doing it all online. The Purdue Extension announced before the weekend that 4-H fairs can continue after the university's face-to-face restrictions end on June 30th. Now, the local board plans to come to a decision at that meeting tomorrow. Well, some local schools are trying to lock in their graduation plans, and the Coldwater Daily Reporter says Pan Sophia Academy plans to hold their rescheduled graduation at the Tibbetts Opera House on June 5th. Coldwater High has rescheduled their graduation for 5 p.m. on August 2nd, but if that gets rained out, they'll hold it at 6 p.m. the following evening. The Cardinals will also be holding a senior swing out parade through the city on the evening of July 28th. Union City had to postpone their parade due to this weekend's rainstorms, but that's all set to go tonight at 7 p.m. Superintendent Rhonda Steele says that they plan on holding a graduation ceremony the first Sunday after Governor Gretchen Whitmer gives the go-ahead. Now, Bronson doesn't know exactly where their graduation ceremony will be held, but they have chosen dates, tentative dates chosen. Now, it will be on June 25th as a first choice, July 16th, if that's not possible. And just in case those dates don't work out, the Vikings will graduate on August 6th. Principal Wes McCrea says that if none of those dates work out, the committee is 100% committed to going back to the planning phase. Now, Quincy is covering all their bases with a series of options. They'll either hold their graduation ceremony this month as planned, hold it with a limited crowd, reschedule it for July or early August with possible limitations, a parade through a community where the public gatherings are allowed, or at least resort doing it all online. In Edgerton, they know what the schedule looks like, but it will be different from any other graduation that they've experienced. The Bryan Times says that they'll hold their ceremony in the lower school parking lot at 2 p.m. this Sunday. The activity will be on a 20 by 22 foot stage under a canopy where the valedictorian will give the traditional speech. Now that will be broadcast across campus on the radio and live streamed on Facebook. Well, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has once again stepped down and in the urgency of his stay-at-home order, which has already started on April 30th. It was no longer a stay-at-home order, but rather a safe-at-home order. Now, WTOL reports that the governor has lowered it further to a strong recommendation, not required, but highly suggested. Now, that includes 6 feet of social distancing, no more than 10 people gathering in one place, and the usual sanitary precautions. Businesses should still encourage social distancing and have employees wear masks. Vulnerable populations should continue to stay at home and much of it possible wear masks, and when they go out, especially avoid large numbers of people. Everyone should stay at home unless necessary, and while travel restrictions are now lifted in Ohio, unnecessary travel is still discouraged. DeWine says he's calling upon the sense of responsibility to others, adding that what we do individually will be what saves Ohioans collectively. Still ahead at noon, floodwaters ravaged the Tri-City area and 2 dams burst and flood downtown Midland. Plus, Adrian police are investigating a couple of shooting incidents that amazingly didn't injure anyone. And a Fremont man who is sentenced for crimes in Branch County is now facing state and federal charges in Indiana. We'll be right back to those stories right after this.
There's a reason that professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They expect quality, service, and knowledge. And that's exactly what they receive. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been family owned. We take pride in serving our area with great products at competitive prices. We have dedicated project estimators in-house that will help figure the materials needed to complete your next task at hand. Whether you're building your dream home, adding a pole barn, building a deck, updating your kitchen, or painting your front door, let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project.
Authentic Mexican food is just a short drive away at El Cerrito in Coldwater and Hillsdale. The variety-packed menu has something for everyone, with classic Mexican dishes, El Cerrito specialties, and tasty treats for dessert. Don't forget the best margaritas in town with margarita specials Friday and Saturday. And carry-out ordering is great for work lunches or picking up dinner for the family. Make your next meal a fiesta for your taste buds at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
Well, thousands have been evacuated in Michigan's Tri-City areas after 2 previous privately owned dams burst due to heavy rains. Now, the Associated Press says the Edenville and Sanford dams in the Tittawabassee River experienced catastrophic failure, sending floodwaters pouring downstream. About 10,000 people in Midland County have been dispatched, and Governor Gretchen Whitmer has declared a state of emergency, saying downtown Midland could be under about 9 feet of water by today. Now, Now, it was expected to crest at the record feet of 38 feet this morning. Now, the Michigan Department of Corrections is reassuring the public that Sorry, folks, my teleprompter got way ahead. Now, according to the Detroit News, the Fremont Energy Regulation Commission revoked the power generation license of the company that currently operates the Edenville Dam in 2018. Now, the commission cited a lack of spillway capacity in the inabilities to pass most of the severe flood that could reasonably be expected. Now, that company, Boyce Hydro Power LLC, argued that the renovation would be a greater public danger because without the power generation, no one would want to buy the dam. They also argue that the chances of a probable maximum flood occurrence in the next 5 to 10 years was 5 to 10 in 1 million. The Edenville Dam was built in 1924 and was rated to be in unsatisfactory condition in 2018. But the previous owners had been warned as far back as 1999. Well, Boyce bought the dam in 2004 and the FERC notified them of the problems, but nothing was done about them. The Sanford Dam, which was built in 1925, received a fair condition rating. Now, it also owned by Boyce Hydro along with 2 other dams at Wixom and Smallwood Lakes. Sanford, Wixom, and Smallwood were all generating power as of yesterday. Now, a 2-county joint authority calls the 4 Lakes Task Force is currently in the process of buying all 4 dams from Boyce Trust for $9.4 million, with plans to rehabilitate them at the cost of $100 million. Now, that sale was expected to conclude by early 2022. But flood stage on the Tittabawassee River is 24 feet. It was at 30.5 feet last night and rising. That was expected to crest at the record 38 feet this morning. The Michigan Department of Corrections is reassuring the public that there was not an escaped attempt or a riot at Gus Harrison Correctional Facility yesterday. The Telegram says what happened was some prisoners were refusing to return to their unit after being outside because they were not given their individual coronavirus test results. Spokesperson Chris Gautz says of those prisoners that were being housed in one of the isolated areas reserved for those who had tested positive so that they should have known that they were infected. But Gautz says that the inmates have the right to know what their personal condition is. He says that there was no violence, injuries, or property destruction, and the prison is handling the incident internally with reprimands for those who started it. Gautz blamed the lack of information on Corizon Health, which has a private medical care provider for the MDOC, and that company has now been ordered to provide the individual results. Going News says that the state prison systems previously withheld $1.6 million from the company in 2019 due to contract violations involving timeliness requirements. Now, the Tennessee company has been also sued for malpractice 666 times between 2011 and 2016. Michigan's 5-year, $715.7 million contract with Corizon Health is set to expire next year. Now, the DOC plans to rebid the deal, but it could sign a new one with Corizon. Now, all inmates were tested at the Madison Township Prison over the past week, resulting in 612 new positive results on Monday. Now, that makes Gus Harrison the second most infected among Michigan prisons behind Coldwater's Lakeland Correctional Facility, which was the first to test all of its inmates. Well, Adrian police are investigating a pair of apparently unrelated shooting incidents, though no injuries have been reported. According to WLEN, the first happened around noon on Thursday in the area of McKenzie and Company Streets. Witnesses say a single shot was fired out of a light-colored full-size SUV. And police did locate a single 9mm casing in the intersection. A lone occupant of the vehicle was described as 20 to 38-year-old male with dark complexion. Then around 10 o'clock to midnight on Sunday, police were called to a fight involving over 20 people around the corner of Oak Street and Treat Streets. Witnesses say that out of that group, 3 suspects began chasing a fourth, but the fourth person turned around, allegedly drew a handgun and fired. Several .45 caliber casings were found in that area. Again, no one at the scene was injured. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Adrian Police Department at 517-264-4808. Another gunfire incident in Hillsdale County resulted in Camden man's arrest on Sunday. The Daily News says deputies arrested 27-year-old Cody Jackson on probable cause charges for possession of a firearm while intoxicated, brandishing a firearm in public, reckless use of a firearm, and resisting police. At the arraignment hearing on Monday afternoon, County Prosecutor Neil Brady said Jackson was a guest at a Maple Street house, but he had recently worn out his welcome and was set to leave for Detroit soon. An eyewitness to the incident identified Jackson as the homeowner's boyfriend. According to Brady, a preliminary investigation found that Jackson was drunk at the house with a group of 5 or 6 teenagers. He apparently got into a dispute with one of the teens, went into the homeowner's bedroom, and got her 9mm handgun. Brady says the teens fled the house and Jackson followed them right out the front door before firing at least 3 rounds into the ground. When deputies arrived, Jackson allegedly resisted arrest and challenged the officers to shoot him. No officers were injured in the incident, and at that point, Jackson did not have the gun, which was not found at the scene. A preliminary hearing in the case is expected within the next 3 weeks. A Fremont man who was previously sentenced to a year in the Branch County Jail for threatening his wife and best friend is now facing federal charges and won't be serving that time locally. The Daily Reporter says a higher level charges came as a result of the same incident. U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Indiana was filed a federal charge for weapons possession by a felon against 38-year-old Marcus DeGraw. Now, DeGraw also faces state charges in Indiana for meth possession, and he's awaiting trial in Steuben County for sexual misconduct with a minor in an incident that allegedly took place on New Year's Eve in 2016. According to WOWO, the sex crime case included 1 count of incest. Now, in pretrial hearings, DeGraw fought with his defense attorneys, and 2 of them withdrew from the case. After several stops and starts, DeGraw refused to take a plea deal, and the case was ordered to trial in late September of last year. Now, according to the court records, both DeGraw's wife and his best friend were listed as witnesses for the prosecution. On August 28th, he accused the 2 of stealing a pistol that he owned, later driving past the Kinderhook home where the man and woman were standing in a doorway. DeGraw allegedly pointed the pistol out of the car window at them and told them, quote, "I'm going to kill you." Another text message, all threatening, were also sent, including one that said, quote, "I'll kill you if you keep playing games." After that, Branch County deputies and the Indiana State Police searched DeGraw's Fremont home, finding a .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol in a place where his wife said it would be. It also found methamphetamine in the home. DeGraw denies that he had a gun when he passed by the house in Kinderhook, but admits that he did have one at his home. Previous felony convictions in Indiana for meth and firearms crimes in 2013 meant that it's not allowed to be in possession of any firearms. His sex crimes trial was postponed while he was in the Branch County custody, and warrants were issued for his arrest. DeGraw entered a plea deal in Branch County on the condition that he would be sentenced to no more than a year in jail. Now, the state's charges will now have to wait until the federal case is completed. If convicted in a higher court, DeGraw could face up to 10 years in federal prison. Well, more news ahead, including Hillsdale County's council meeting and the chance for all Michiganders to vote by mail.
The Saucy Dogs is the name and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville.
Does your vehicle sound like a tractor putting down the road? Then you need to see the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. They will give you a free estimate along with first-class customer service. They custom make any exhaust needed for your vehicle. Stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
Hello everybody, Brett Boyd from the Market House. Don't miss our new expanded summer hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And don't miss 2 fantastic deals on ground chuck at just $3.99 a pound or Dutch Farms butter at just $2.99. Just 2 great deals and 2 more reasons to come see us at the Market House. Open 8 to 8, 7 days a week. We'll see you there.
Well, the city of Hillsdale has developed a bit of a reputation for independence during the pandemic, but the most recent city council meeting was both defiant and compliant with regards to Michigan's emergency orders. Last week, Mayor Adam Stockford announced that the city would have an in-person meeting Monday night, and that took the form of a hybrid setup at the Hillsdale Community Library, allowing those who wanted to attend in person to do so while obeying social distancing rules, and allowing those who wanted to join in remotely to do so as well. The Daily News says most of the meeting was spent discussing whether or not the council should hold in-person meetings and reopen City Hall. The mayor and several other council members argued that the state's emergency orders violate their constitution, but city staff along with council members Greg Stuchel, Tony Veer, and Bruce Sharp disagree with that assessment. Those three council members, along with the city manager David Mackey, were among those who attended the meeting online. Stockford says not everyone is easily access online meetings, and he argues that they're not conducive to open and transparent government. And he also says that he rarely sees more than a handful of residents inside City Hall at any given time. Stuchel countered that this coronavirus doesn't care about the Constitution, but he did agree with the mayor's belief that Governor Gretchen Whitmer's orders have gone too far. On the topic of City Hall, Stuchel said that the city just can't fling the doors open, but he is in favor of reopening safely. City Manager Mackey cautioned against moving forward with an in-person meetings, but he said that the city is tentatively planning to reopen in June 1st after the May 28th expiration of the current stay-at-home order. City Attorney John Lovinger also raised concerns about holding council meetings in person at the library, but not committee meetings. Lovinger added that the reopening City Hall would be a direct violation of the governor executive orders, but Stockford was having none of that, saying, quote, "I don't give a damn what the executive order says. This has gone on long enough." Now, that was in kind of confirmation that the City Council would continue Monday night's hybrid meeting format for the foreseeable future. All registered Michigan voters will be receiving absentee ballot applications for the August primary and November general election. According to the Associated Press, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced the move yesterday as part of the state's efforts to overcome the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the cost is $4.5 million, and that will come from federal coronavirus relief funds. Now, Benson says no Michigander will have to choose between their health and their right to vote. She added that the voting by mail is easy, convenient, safe, and secure, and that every voter in Michigan has the right to do it. Now, it comes after a May primary that saw record returns following a similar effort to mail-in absentee ballot applications to all voters in the jurisdictions where there was something to vote on. Of course, not everyone is happy about it. Former Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, now a state senator, accuses Benson of taking unilateral actions with no input and to what Johnson calls, quote, questionable motives. Now, Johnson is a Republican in her party, which controls the state legislature and has criticized Benson's decisions, just as Republicans on the national stage have criticized Democratic Party's efforts to vote by mail. But apart from that aspect, State Representative Julie Calley says the money would have been better spent on protective equipment for polling places and election workers. Michigan voters typically have their request an absentee ballot, but a ballot initiative approved by 2018 dropped the requirement for a reason to vote absentee. Well, we've got a tasty way to enjoy this weekend right after this.
El Cerrito's variety-packed menu has something for everyone. With generous servings and lots of flavor, you'll think of it as a fiesta for your taste buds. Dine in or carry out at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
There's a reason that professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They expect quality, service, and knowledge. And that's exactly what they receive. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been family-owned. We take pride in serving our area with great products at competitive prices. We have dedicated project estimators in-house that will help figure the materials needed to complete your next task at hand. Whether you're building your dream home, adding a pole barn, building a deck, updating your kitchen, or painting your front door, let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project.
The Saucy Dogs is the name and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville.
If you're looking for some good food and a reason to get out of the house this weekend, the Branch County Fair has just the thing for you. Well, take a look. They'll be holding a fair food drive-thru at the Garfield Avenue entrance with all the goodies you love. Corn dogs, caramel corn, cotton candy, elephant ears, and of course, you know my favorite, Fisk fries. Well, that'll run Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then both Sunday and Monday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll find me there. This is a cash-only event, so be prepared to dish out the dollar bills, and it's definitely worth the money. And the drive, if you're from Hillsdale, of course. Well, those are the top stories today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for HTV1 News at noon. Don't forget, you'll see me today, and Josh this afternoon, down at the B-Dubs in Angola for our show this afternoon. So this is news. Don't forget about it. We got some great stories on that one, including the bar over in Maryland. It's using an unusual way to social distance, but we'll have that story and more. Don't forget, you can find our more live streams and more right here 24/7 at htv1.net for all of us here at HTV1. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Have a great day, everyone.
Tired of having everyone know you're coming before you arrive because of your exhaust? If so, then it's time to call the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. RS Custom Exhaust has all the tools and parts to make your vehicle quiet again. And for you sports car enthusiasts, if you're looking for the roar to be the king of the roads, RS Custom Exhaust can help you too. With free estimates and first-class service, RS Custom Exhaust has your vehicle covered. So stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
Hello everybody, Brett Boyd from the Market House. Don't miss our new expanded summer hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And don't miss two fantastic deals on ground chuck at just $3.99 a pound or Dutch Farms butter at just $2.99. Just two great deals and two more reasons to come see us at the Market House. Open 8 to 8, 7 days a week. We'll see you there.